you want an intro or shall I?
I'll do it. I'll
Go on
do
then.
it.
Bring the energy, bring the thunder.
Bring the thunder. Thor 4 was a bad film. What's up, guys? No, I'm not going to say guys this time. What was I said last time? Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and everything in between. And welcome to another episode of this Nerd Life podcast. Thunder, lightning, explosions. Mouth noises are fun. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I don't know what I mean. Today, Jack's dying. We are going to discuss a film we watched this weekend. A little known indie film. I'm not sure many of viewers would know it. I think it's called Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I don't know. It's really indie underground, so we're cool and edgy and only we know about this film kind of thing. But we have both seen it, which is rare for us to see a film this quickly, this early.
Yeah, definitely both of us.
Normally one of
at
us
the
is
same
like,
time.
oh, I'll get to it in a weekend or two. But
Yeah.
we have both seen it, and we are going to discuss it. I have plenty of thoughts, or at least I did at one point. Will my memory betray me in this episode? We'll see. Overview. What did you think, Mark?
I loved it.
Hated it.
I had some bits that were I would have done that differently, but best Marvel film in the last year.
I mean, that's not hard.
Probably best Marvel films since Spider-Man, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, out of 5, I'd probably give it a solid 4.5,
Ooh, okay.
maybe even a 5. Would watch again today. If I had it, I'd be like, whoop, but I wouldn't pay again because cinemas are expensive and there's a cost of living crisis. But I'd watch it again. What about you?
I'm right there with you. For the most part, I'm seeing all the clips on TikTok, so I'm like, oh, I would watch this again, but yeah, not pay for it because things are pricey. Like you, I have some issues with it. Not a lot, but a few, which I'm sure we'll get to. And I think I'm set more like a 4 out of 5 compared to a 4.5. I think I've got maybe I might have a few more issues with it than you do, but I'm right there with you. This is the best way, the best Marvel film or the best superhero film really, because fuck DC these days. Except from Shazam 2. Shazam 2 slapped.
That was good. That was
a good film. I don't care what anyone says. But it's the best Marvel film since No Way Home.
Yeah, 100%.
And Endgame, obviously. Before that, it was like Doctor Strange 2 for me. But this was much better. It's a shame to be losing James Gunn. But what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. I wish I could watch it again, for sure. But I'm not sure if I'm emotionally ready to watch it again. This film fucked me up, man.
Yeah, I there was about 5 points I could have cried, and I didn't. I held it in because I was with a friend, and I'm not sure he was ready to see me weeping in the cinema. And which parts we're gonna? Okay, I'm just gonna give just hands out there, hands out,
Hands
just
out.
Little
reach out. I'm
disclaimer.
reaching out for you.
This could be huge.
Touch me. Feel me.
Huge
Hold me.
Oh yeah. Oh, feel my fingers. Huge spoilers about to turn
we're
up.
obviously
Anyone
about to
who's
spoil the
watching
whole
this-
film, obviously.
Well, yeah, don't watch this if you haven't seen it, okay? Because everyone dies at the end.
I was a little disappointed
Only
that no
joking.
one did.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right.
Continue.
Right?
We'll get
I
to
was
that.
just-
Continue what you were saying.
Yeah. Which part did you cry at?
Oh, there's too many. Anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Which parts then? Like multiple.
So anything with the flashbacks, pretty much. The whole we're gonna, naming ourselves and we're gonna fly away together.
Yeah.
When obviously Lila dies, which is obviously heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
it was less that she died for me that got me sad, because I think everyone knew she was obviously not going to make it. It was Floor in the background going teeth floor rocket go now, teeth floor rocket go now over and over again as Rocket screaming. That got me. That really got me, that bit.
Yeah, and then they got shot as well.
Yeah, that bit didn't make me sad. That was obviously what was coming next. But yeah, it's like that psychotic kind of like, not psychotic, but that breakdown someone's having. Like you can only say the one thing over and over again because your brain's just stuck in it. So that got me. I'm probably going to miss a few bits. The ending, Dog Days, is ruined for me now. Thanks, James Gunn.
Yeah,
like not so much when they were dancing, but it was Drax and Mantis waving, and Drax has that tear. I was like, that fucking got me.
There was, for me, there was the bit where, you know, when they save Rocket and then he speaks over the comm, and then Nebula's like, sort of thing. She's just like sheer shock that he's fucking alive. That bit got me. Like, I was just like, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in. And the other bit was, I think it says more about my personality, but the bit at the end when Star-Lord goes to see his granddad and his granddad's just like, Peter, you know, that bit. I think I've got daddy issues, okay?
I have a problem with
anything
that scene.
in anything. Yeah. Oh, okay. We'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, anytime there's on screen, it doesn't have to be like Guardians or whatever, but anytime there's like dad son issues, I'm a mess. So, what did you have wrong with that scene?
Before I say
Apart
that,
from the fact that man should not be alive.
I mean, yeah, but before we discuss that, let me throw one more thing in. The I love you guys, and when Peter gives his speech and gives Rocket the captaincy, and then Groot says, "I love you guys."
Yeah.
That got me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that was really well done to hear him speak like that. Did you feel like?
Yeah.
Did you understand that?
Huh?
Did you understand like what was happening?
What do you mean?
Like he wasn't speaking English, right?
I mean, I didn't, but now that you say it, it makes sense.
So yeah, this is what I took away from the scene, and James Gunn has since confirmed it on Twitter. He's not speaking English. We're now part of the family, and we understand his language, much like the others do.
Oh, so just like Gamora has that swap in during the film where she's like, "Oh, I understand you now." Oh, okay, that's nice. I like that. I didn't get that. I was like, "Oh, he can speak, the cheeky bastard."
But going back to your daddy issue scene. Here's my problem, right?
God.
Here's my problem with this.
Yeah.
Your grandson gets kidnapped at what? He's like 10, 11 when he gets kidnapped?
8. He's 8.
He's 8. And then he comes back. You don't tell me you recognize him when Peter Quill walks in, and you know immediately that's your fucking grandson. That looks drastically different to the last time you saw him. Don't give me that shit. You'll be like, who the fuck are you, mate? What are you doing in my house? Fuck off.
I think, yeah, I thought that as well. I think they tried to like dress him up in the same way as when he left. I think he's in the same colours and he's got his bag and stuff. So like maybe he'd understand. But that woman also just lets him into the house. Like, I'm here to see Jason. Okay, come in. Just come in.
And like,
you know, this random guy. Not who are you? Just come on in.
And the Guardians have been on like Earth once, like at the end of Endgame. And they didn't stick around to do interviews and go, "Oh yeah, my name's Peter Quill, kidnapped at the age of 8." Like they were there and then they left. Like, how do you know that? Like, if I met you as an 8-year-old and you're wearing blue jeans and a black top, and then I meet you now and you're wearing blue jeans and black top, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, that's that 8-year-old." Where the fuck are you? Get out of my fucking house. But,
yeah.
That was a bit weird.
And I don't. The other bit I have wrong with that scene is that I don't think Star-Lord would have done that.
Yeah, I'm not into it either.
As like I get like the character progression and he wants to go see his granddad, but like I don't think you'd find it so boring. I mean, that scene was kind of boring. He was just sat there eating cereal going, "Oh, well, let's talk about this guy lawn mowing." I'm like, I know it's meant to be boring, but like Star-Lord is not gonna sit there forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it did come up saying the Star-Lord will return, but
Yeah,
I have a problem with that as well, because Chris Pratt's... Have you heard that Chris Pratt's turned around and gone, well, I'm not coming back just yet, but it'd have to be something really special for me to come back. So unless they've already got ideas for him to come back, I don't know.
Well, the way I read it, and we'll talk about the ending when we get there, because I've got a lot of thoughts on it, but the way I read that is like he's back on Earth for the next Avengers film now. He's back for Kang, whatever those films. I can't remember what they're called. Don't know if they're happening because of Jonathan Majors. But that's the interpretation I took away from it. He's now perfectly placed on Earth to be in the next Avengers film. We'll see.
Okay, yeah.
We'll see on that one.
Cool.
So,
I like him, so hopefully it does turn up.
I like him too. I like him a lot. So what are some of the highlights for you then?
Highlights. The High Evolutionary.
He was so good.
He was amazing.
He was like that perfect, you just hate him.
Yeah, he's just gross. Like, he's just an awful, awful person. So I really liked him. I thought he's probably one of the best villains that we've had in Marvel so far.
Way better than Christian Bale's awful.
Adam Warlock. Yes.
No, don't give me yes.
Adam Warlock was
no.
good.
Let's take a break. Don't give me yes. You fucking loved him in that film. You loved Gore. Like, he's one of the best Marvel villains ever. He's fucking one of the worst.
Yeah, when I watched it, and now I've seen... Oh, I haven't seen it again, but like we've seen other things since. I'm just like, oh man, it actually wasn't... half that film was good. Half of it. But like, no. Like, in comparison, no one's got anything on the High Evolutionary, apart from Green Goblin, maybe. Adam Warlock, I liked him. He was funny, but obviously he was just kind of an entrance to the future sort of thing. He was in it, but not too much. Big dumb baby, he was.
He's always got that difficult task of not only are you being introduced into what's already a very busy, established film, but you're also being introduced in the last film. And I'm sure they'll use him elsewhere. It's just like, that is that uphill journey to give a shit about the character, but like not Adam. Is Adam? No. Why am I saying Adam? Because his character's name's Adam. Will Poulter is a fantastic actor. Dude is fucking jacked in this. He made me question a few things, that's for sure. And I don't really know much about Adam from the comics, so I didn't have like a perceived notion of what he should be. So I enjoyed him just being some dumb kid, because that's what he is, really. They say that, right? He's just a kid still, in terms of age. So I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him quite a lot.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good addition, I think. What else did I like? I like that Groot was different. Like, they haven't just like made a new Groot, made the same Groot again. Like, I know he's meant to be his son or whatever. That's the theory, isn't it? Like, he's not the same Groot, but he's obviously... The first Groot was like, oh, he's just a tree, right? He's kind of just a happy tree. Then he's like baby Groot or whatever. And now he's a Groot that is a Guardian. He's grown to become this fighter as opposed to using what he's got in the original. But yeah, so I like that.
Go full Kaiju.
Yeah, that was good. And I just think it was like such a good story. So they're probably the highlights, like the new and the just character development for everyone. Like, everyone was written perfectly, I think.
Were they though?
So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. What about you? What's your highlights?
That corridor scene sticks out to me mainly because I just saw it on TikTok not long before we started recording. So I just need a drink. But that was disgusting. But that is what good pussy sounds like. Everyone's got to have a corridor scene since Daredevil, Everyone's trying to do one. And that slow-mo corridor scene fight was fantastic. I absolutely loved that. And everyone got their like good 10 to 15 seconds moment in that fight, which was really cool. I thought the story was very well paced. Sometimes when they cut to flashbacks, it felt like a slight weird moment to do it. But like it's a very minor gripe. Very much enjoyed all the characters' performances. Not necessarily Gamora, but we'll get to that. Got a little bit of a problem there, I think Chris Pratt nailed it. I think they all nailed it, really. It's cool seeing the different teams split up into like the different combinations of how they work together. So that was very fun. I with you. I love the High Evolutionary. The actor who plays him just did a fantastic job. I mean, we already know he was a good actor from Peacemaker, but he crushed it here. It's just being like, I'm not misunderstood. I've not got a bit of a redemption in me. It's like, no, you're just a dickhead, and he played it so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the things he did was obviously very heartbreaking. As a vegan, you must have doubly hated it all.
Oh baby, I was.
I actually saw people being like, maybe
upset.
there should be a trigger warning for vegans for this film.
I was just and children as well.
And
like,
children,
this is what
sure.
I don't think so, but this is what I've read this morning. Like, people are taking their children to see this film because they've seen the others. The children love superheroes and stuff, and there's animals getting like tortured and shot and like it's pretty heartbreaking, Yeah, like that fucking floor is disgusting. Like, he's a lovely little rabbit, I'm sure. But he's got spider legs, mechanical spider legs, and it's fucked.
Pretty sure it's a she as well.
Oh well, yeah, she is terrifying, and Lila with her like metal
stuff,
clippers. Like,
I feel like this was like on the edge of being a 15. I think.
Oh yeah, and with the amount of swearing as well. Like, not that it was a bad thing, but
no, yeah. I mean, obviously they have their first F-bomb.
Definitely on the edge. Which was great.
Which was it could have been used better elsewhere.
I liked it.
I get
Where
it.
would you have it then if you?
I get it. Like, open the fucking door. That is a very thing we all would say to someone that's annoying us. I would have had it in Guardians 2 when Groot says, "I am Groot," and Rocket goes, "He says we're the fricking Guardians of the Galaxy, but he didn't say fricking." I'd have just gone, "He said we're the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy."
It's true. That's true. That would have been a good one.
But yeah, even outside of the first fuck, there's a lot of arsehole, and I think there was a prick or two in there, and shit, and bastard.
There's a couple of shits.
Yeah, it's just
a couple of shits.
It's just this could have been a 15, I think. But
yeah, and not to mention the fact that they just like the High Evolutionary, he creates these beings and then just fucking incinerates them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really did think
just
like
awful.
I know I crack a lot of jokes about your people, but I really did finish it and think genuinely there should probably be a warning for vegans.
I don't know. Maybe for some vegans.
Well,
I'm
not joking.
Go, as a vegan, this fucking triggers me.
No, I'm not.
No, because I don't.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me.
It's still animal abuse, which is a big thing. Obviously, vegans are very anti, and most people are. But like, you guys, like, I'm trying to word this so it doesn't sound like I'm taking the piss, because I'm genuinely not. But it did just be one of those things that feels like, you should warn people, or maybe not specifically vegans, but you should just put a warning, be like, there's a lot of animal abuse in this.
Yeah, they do. Do they have it at the beginning? When it comes up with the title screen, Guardians, and it has the age rating, and then underneath, does it say? I can't remember what it said. I know it said moderate violence and swearing, or something. I don't know. I don't know if it said like animal abuse. Maybe it should be there if not. But I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah. I'm not sure about those like animal people on Counter Earth. Like, they looked
Nanu.
like they. I'm not sure if they were good or not. Like, the costumes were a bit odd. I mean, I know you haven't seen The Mighty Boosh, but there's this episode where there's like these mutant beings, and they're all made from animals. And obviously it's BBC Three, so it's very low budget. But they, there could have been a little crossover there. It could have been the same. Some of them looked a bit shit. Like, the bat people were fine, but then the panda mowing his grass looked awful.
Yeah, it was a bit hit.
And the rabbit man afterwards, he was a bit funny looking. But I guess it's hard to make realistic humanoid animals,
Yeah, and you get to get away with it by saying they're experiments, they're not complete kind of thing.
Yeah.
What I wasn't a fan of, now I'm surprised to be saying this, was the soundtrack.
Really?
Wasn't bad. I didn't think it was bad at all. It just wasn't as strong as the first two, to the point that, except from Florence and the Machine. I went to say Florence Pugh then. My brain just, yeah. I don't really remember any of the songs. I just did, like, whereas I recognise them. Like, number 1 and 2 are way more recognisable to me, I think.
Maybe, is it just that you don't know the songs?
No, some
like
of them, I knew most of them.
But...
It was just, they just weren't memorable. Or some of them I felt like this, were like the one that I used for the slow-mo walk before they go into battle. I was like, this just doesn't fit. I think it was a bit of a miss this time with the music.
Fair enough. I remember enjoying it, but as you said, I couldn't tell you any song apart from Florence and the Machine that was on there.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a couple of songs that I was like, oh yeah, this is good. As a song. I think, I don't know, I'd have to watch it again and go, okay, how does this soundtrack really fit? I don't know. It didn't strike me as a point in my head, but yeah.
I also wasn't a fan of Gamora's
The other two do slap, though.
The other two do
Sorry, what was that?
I'm not a fan of Gamora's arc in this film. I'm really not.
What about it? Just that she's a bit of a dickhead? Or that
No, it's not even that. It's just like... She doesn't... I don't think she has a story arc in this film, in my opinion. Like... I like Gamora, the actress is great, and she did a good job in the film. I just don't think her arc was written very well. Like... I'm all for her not joining the Guardians. I'm all for her not getting back with Peter. I'm totally happy with that. But she starts the film and ends the film, in my opinion, in the same place, which is a dickhead with the Ravagers, and that's fine. But what I would have done with it, and I'm an idiot, and I'm not a professional writer in Hollywood, but I would have had her go back to the Ravagers, but then had a scene where she's like, well, maybe we don't have to be as brutal, because that's a big part of her character in this film. She's brutal. She kills those people, she shoots them in the leg, blah blah blah. I would have had her arc end with her being like, okay, we're Ravagers, but do we have to be as brutal, kind of thing. Like, it's just so she's learned something from her time with the Guardians in this film. But I feel like she has learned nothing. She has not been on a journey. I think this film could have worked just as well without her.
I don't know. I agree and disagree. So like, I agree that she's in the same place, but I think that's the point. I think, like I think the film kind of definitely separates her from that original Gamora that we have. I know, like, it's sort of, obviously she is a different person. We already know this, but this is like in the story as part of it. It's like Peter's like, oh, I love you, but she's like, I'm not that person, and that really cements it that she's this different Gamora. But also, she does. I feel that she does have a little bit of a journey, because she cares in the end. She does care about the Guardians. Yes, she doesn't join in that big hug, but she looks after Rocket when she's the only one that can. She fights alongside them, even though she doesn't want to. I do think she has a little bit of a journey, but I think the point is, she's not our Gamora. Like, screw her. She's going to do whatever the fuck she wants. But it could have been anyone. Anyone could have filled that hole. I do agree with you. Like, it didn't need to be her.
That's my point. It's like, I have no problem with it not being our Gamora. I actually think it's good. I'm happy that they didn't try and force her to join the Guardians or force her to fall in love with Peter again. I think that would have been too much. So I'm happy with all that. It's just, I just don't... She looked after Rocket because someone was attacking this ship. Like, she didn't have much of a choice. She joined in the final fight because it was that or be on her own in a ship that was collapsing and falling apart. Like, I just feel like, anyone could have replaced her in this film. And I'm like, considering this film is, it seems like we're never going to see Gamora again, or at least not by Zoe Saldana. She was talking the other day that she's done and she's happy for someone else to take over that role. And it's just like, all right, she's not our Gamora, and that's fine, and she doesn't have to go on a huge journey. But really, Peter could have learned the lesson to let her go without her probably being there. And if she's not taking anything away from her time with the Guardians, then she hasn't gone on a journey, which is fine. Not every character has to, but like, when it's your last film and your last time with this character, potentially ever, if not for a long time, do something with it. Don't waste that. And I feel like it was wasted, where I really would have liked her to see go back to the Ravagers, and maybe she joins them mid-heist and they're about to shoot someone in the head, and she's like, look, we don't have to be this crazy. And she gets the answers out the person a different way and knocks them out instead. Like, just to show she learned something. Like, it's not about getting back to Argamore. It's just like she has a journey. She doesn't. She starts and ends in the exact same place. I also find it weird, like, again, I know she's not Gamora, but it's like nothing about Gamora pre or during Guardians 1 would suggest she'd ever end up with the Ravagers. And considering this version of Gamora is that 2014 or whatever version, it just seems weird that she does end up with the Ravagers, especially considering she leaves Thanos because of his brutality. And I know obviously the Ravagers aren't as bad as Thanos and his army, but like, it just feels like a weird place for her to end. Like, I feel like she was the character that should have had that I'm going to go out into the galaxy and explore to figure things out, like the Mantis ending. I feel like that would actually have better fitted Gamora. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
the Ravagers was a good end point for her.
Yeah, it was a strange one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Though I think when she left, when we find her in Endgame, is it Endgame?
Yeah.
She is still the general of Thanos' army, isn't she? Or does she leave? I can't remember.
They're both high up.
I remember the story of Endgame the other day. But
we don't know much.
She's still
we just know it's
a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But in theory, like, I know things obviously didn't play out. She is still only mere months from leaving Thanos and running into the Guardians for the first time. So it's like she can't be that happy with him.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not like the Ravagers are outright bad guy. I don't know. It just seems like a weird place for her to end. Where I feel like a much better one would be like, I'm going to go out and figure my shit out, because I've just gone from being like Thanos' right-hand man to time traveling to being in an alternate universe and then watching my father get snapped away. I probably should go figure my shit out for a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree.
Not that she should be there in the first place.
It's just a MacGuffin, isn't it? Like, she's there to fill that hole. Because if she wasn't in it, then people would kick off.
Yeah.
People would be like, where the fuck is Gamora? Like, why isn't Gamora in here? And I guess it's filling that hole. But I agree. I don't think the Ravagers were necessary. She could have just been like a bounty hunter, like she is in the first one. Maybe she's got a different personality, but she is just a bounty hunter, isn't she? So she could have just been that again, but then,
Or maybe deal with the incredible guilt that she's partly responsible for her and her father wiping out half the fucking universe. Maybe there's some guilt associated with that. Maybe you don't then go join the Ravagers who fuck anyone over if it's for the right price. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels a little...
Yep.
I did like Peter's throwaway line of like, and she travelled from the past to the future, and yet she didn't disappear like everyone else. Not that makes sense. Maybe it's some time stone magic. Like, I like his little like, why is she here? Why did she survive? It makes no sense
I like that
all.
too. I noticed that and I was like, actually, that's a good point. Like, why didn't she go? Like, why?
It's never.
I don't think it's ever really explained. Just no. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Gamora. She. Most of the cast don't want to come back for them, do they? Like,
seemingly not.
Chris Pratt has said that he's done for now. Like, Star-Lord's got his end, and he'll come back for something special. Maybe he'll be in the Avengers films. Batista's obviously had the full drama. He's the only reason he's in it is because he managed to get James Gunn back for this film. Otherwise, he would not be in it. He wouldn't. And he's like, screw Disney, screw Marvel. I'm not doing it again. Gamora, Zoe Saldana said that she's not going to. Mantis Poe Clementov, whatever her name is.
Pom Clementif or something like that.
Pom. I don't know. I always read it though. Just in my head, whenever I read her name, I'm just like,
It's because you hate the French.
I don't think she wants. Yeah, I didn't know she was French, but yeah, I do. She's not coming back. Bradley Cooper obviously and Vin Diesel, they do voice acting, so they get a paycheck for, spending a day or two in a booth reading lines.
You say that, but
Vin Diesel could do his work in 10 minutes.
You say that, but someone asked Bradley the other day if he'd come back, and he went, "I'll go where James Gunn goes." So
okay,
maybe not with him. All these people will come back when enough money's thrown in their fucking face.
Yeah, apart from maybe Batista.
Oh yeah, he's never coming back. Which is a nice segue onto, how did no one die?
How did no one die? Honestly, I thought, okay, who was your before going into it, before seeing it? Who? Oh my God, my words today. Who would have you said who would have died? Whatever.
I mean, Drax
You know what I'm
was
trying
the
to
obvious
ask you.
one because Batista's been so clear, like, I am done. I am never coming back. And obviously,
Yep.
I know they can recast, but I don't think they're going to want to recast too much if they can get away with it. So yeah, I would have said Drax. I wish Gamora had stayed dead in Endgame and Infinity War, because I think that's just a better ending for the Guardians and the arc. Like, get brought back to life just to disappear again. I don't know, just it's a bit weird. Again, it sounds like I'm shitting on Gamora. I really like the character, but I think like a good ending was her death, and it just didn't need to happen again. But I knew she wouldn't die in this one because I don't think they would pull the dead to come back to be dead again. A new Star-Lord would be safe. Rocket was too obvious, so I thought it would be then between Nebula and Mantis. Groot can't really die. I mean, he can, but... So yeah, I thought it would be definitely Drax and either Nebula or Mantis. Probably Mantis to further drive home the tragicness of Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Which
I thought it was going to be...
I'll get to it.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be Drax, Rocket, and as you said, Mantis or Nebula, but probably Mantis. So I thought like maybe even Star-Lord as well. Like I thought a lot of them were going to die, just because we knew that a lot of them didn't want to come back or are done with the role. Like, I honestly thought like they were going to wipe out the Guardians of the ones that they could.
Yeah.
You know, just have it a proper suicide mission, go full Suicide Squad sort of thing, and knock them all out. But I'm on the fence whether or not I'm happy or sad about it, because I'm glad that they're still alive, but then there's plot holes and you know, where did they go? You know, later down the line, a film's going to come out or a TV show, and it's going to be, oh well, you know, Chris Pratt, Star-Lord could have filled that gap, and it's like, oh, well, he's still alive, but you know, you just can't use him because Chris Pratt doesn't want to come back or something like that. You know, it's too many loose ends.
It'd be interesting to know what Gunn wanted to do and what Feige let him do. Because he's obviously not going to let Gunn be like, I'm leaving, by the way, I've killed all your characters, see ya. And maybe that wasn't the conversation, but I'd just be interested to know. Let's talk about the ending.
I reckon I reckon he's probably had more leeway than a lot of directors, just because I reckon James Gunn would have been happy to leave it, to not do it. Not happy, but you know what I mean. Would have been like, screw you guys, I'm not doing it. And then Feige's been like, oh no, please do it, please. And then James Gunn's gone, okay, but I'm doing it my way.
Yeah.
And he's had this leeway where other directors would have had to stick to a story, I think. This is just me spitballing. Obviously, I have no idea, but...
Yeah, well, we're kind of talking about the ending, so I want to bring up a couple of things about it.
Go for it.
I didn't like Ghost of Gamora's ending. I've gone on enough about that. I like Drax and Nebula's ending. I thought that was pretty nice.
Yep. And they could like turn up again, like in cameos,
Yeah.
or like mentions. Probably not cameos, but you know, it's
I
a good soft ending for them.
I like Rocket and Groot's ending together still, leading the new team. That's cool. Mantis and Star-Lord gets me a little bit. Not too much. And I'm being very picky. I love this film. I think it's fantastic. But I am trying to be fair to it. So,
Yep.
I think Mantis is an excuse of, I served Ego and then I served the Guardians. I need to go serve me for a bit. It's like, well, you didn't serve the Guardians. You were a valid member of the team. Let's be honest. It's not like you were their slave. Like you were with
But
Ego.
she does have that point where nobody ever listens to her.
Right, but that's...
You know?
But that's the first and only time it's mentioned any time she's been in the MCU. And
True.
Peter knows it was her and listens to her, so she was listened to. It just felt a little like, I served... I think it was the wording that annoyed me. It's like, I served Ego and I served the Guardians. So you didn't serve the Guardians. Let's be clear. You're a valid member of this team.
What did she say? She said, served Ego and did whatever the Guardians wanted to do. That's what she said.
You're a valid member of this team. Don't act like that. But
yeah.
minor
Because she's got cool powers, and she can fight like fucking demon.
Yeah.
She's cool. I like her. Yeah.
My main problem with it is, and it's related to Star-Lord, and it's I'm with you. I don't think Star-Lord goes back home. I don't think
Maybe
like,
for a visit, but
not to
not
stick
good.
around. Like, I get the whole point of, he found this family in the Guardians, and it's made him realise maybe he should spend time with his family back home. But it's like, I don't think that point was driven home well enough. It really only stems from Mantis bringing it up once and the picture Gamora gives him. I don't think it was just driven home well enough that after all this time in space, he's finally decided now's the time to go chill with his granddad. A man, at that point, you were 8 or whatever when you left. You don't have that many memories of him.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have that much like a reason. And he's going to die soon.
And the one memory that you do have is fucking him shouting at you when your mum dies.
Yeah.
Like, he even mentioned that in the film.
Exactly.
It's like, well, yeah.
But my biggest problem with it is, what's the best way to word this? Him and Mantis aren't brother and sister. Like, they say it in the Christmas special, and they say it again here. I'm pretty sure they had no scenes together. They didn't seem like family. And during this really difficult time, you go, I'm just going to fuck off and abandon my sister that I have actual good memories with, that I love, that is right here, right now, to go hang out with some old man that shouted at me. And on top of that, I'm not going to have a special moment with her before I go where I say, goodbye, I love you. If you ever need anything, I will always be there for you. You're my sister. I love you. Bye. He's just like, oh yeah, bye everyone.
Yeah, and
in a bit, I'm out.
And there was that whole bit where she was trying to get Drax to say this stuff to him. But if they did have a good relationship, if they were brother and sister, they would be able to talk to each other just normally, and he would listen. So, yeah, I think the fact that they the holiday special was shit. I hated it.
Oh, fuck! It was fantastic.
Really? I did not enjoy it.
It's because you hate Kevin Bacon.
Boring. Yeah, that too. But no, I just think, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I think like they should have had to drive that point home. They should have had like a moment to be like, we are brother and sister. And maybe we'll see each other in the future, but right now we're just gonna separate our ways.
Yeah, it's just like they didn't seem like brother and sister the entire film, and you think he would give her a special goodbye, be like, we've just found out we're siblings. And I'm going to leave you, but I want you to know it's nothing to... Like, it just... Their relationship in this seemed like... you're the member of the team. Like, you're in your friend group, and you're like, we're all really good friends. And then people go like, oh, I'm going to go here, and you go there. And then you end up with someone in the group that you actually don't really talk to that much. You go, oh, actually, are we friends? I don't really know. I don't know you. That's what it seemed to me. Like, that's their relationship. They're part of the core friend group. They don't really talk. And it's just like... I also thought, like, if he should have taken her with him. Like, hey, you need to find yourself. What a better way to do that than fuck off to Earth with me and just chill and relax. And then you can be with your brother. Like, I don't know. It's just all felt a bit weird, that relationship. And then the post-credit scene bothered me. And not so much the...
Which one?
This is such a minor gripe. The Rocket's new team one. Who the fuck is that? Like, I know who it is. Because I'm a nerd, so I read it up about it. What was the point of adding this random little girl in to be part of the team?
One sec. I haven't looked it up yet. So who is she?
She's
Why?
the original Marvel's daughter, and she has powers. That's in the comics. So what that means?
I saw that she had powers.
Yeah, she is not in the film, or she is. She's in the background with no lines. And I'm just like, why have you done this? Why have you thrown this randomer in?
She's the little girl in the cage.
There's many little girls in a cage.
She's the one. She's the one that talks to Drax the most. She's the one that's going chuba chuba.
Well, she looked like the rest, so I didn't really realise that. Is that racist about white people?
That's racist, Jack.
What about white girls?
Yeah.
Oh, she's actually Asian in the film, so not in a film, in real life. But like, my point is, because they all looked identical in terms of the hair, and they were supposed to all obviously be, May, so they all looked the same. I didn't put together she was the main girl, but also B is like she didn't have enough role in that film to be like, oh, she's now part of the team. That felt weird. But my biggest problem with it, and again, it's so minor, and we've got to get back to talking about positive stuff in a minute because this makes it seem like I don't like the film when I didn't. I loved it. They put her as part of the team, which is weird. Like, there's nothing in the film that suggests she should be part of the team. But my biggest problem with this, so minor, is
Yeah.
by the time the next Guardian film comes out, they would have recast the actress. So what was the point?
I guess maybe they've got future ideas for it.
Yeah, but like maybe that character stays part of the team for the next film, but the next film probably won't be for 5 or 10 years. And unless this girl that played her in this film becomes a big actress, they're just going to recast her. So you might as well just waited and introduced her later down the line. And how many people got that excited to see her?
Sets the... Huh? What was that?
I know, because I knew this is what you were going to say. It's like, if it's all done now, it's setting up. It's like, how many people left that and went, I know exactly who that is? Barely anyone.
0. I had no idea. I do like the fact that they've already set up a new team, though.
No, I liked that. I was like, you're going to get recast. You're going to get fucking Scott Lang's kid. You're going to get 3 recasts before we see you again. So who fucking cares? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Got one more gripe.
I did. Okay, you go ahead.
Star-Lord's fucking helmet. This bothered me so much the entire film. Every time we've seen
What,
Peter
that it's
Quill,
not there?
Yeah, every time we've seen Peter Quill, he's had his helmet and his boot thrusters, right? He uses it in combat all the time. And he's obviously used it to survive, especially the helmet, on various occasions. In this film, he just thought, nah, fam, don't need the helmet. Would have been pretty useful when you were floating in space, freezing over and your face was melting or blowing up, sorry. It's almost as if you've been in that situation before, Peter. Why don't you think to put your mask on?
Yeah.
The mask you've been wearing for 10 years.
It's also like... Yeah, it's his like trademark, isn't it? Yeah. Like if you went, oh, okay, what name, like describe Star-Lord, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you've got rocket boots, a helmet, cool guns. All he's got is the cool guns, which aren't as cool as they should be.
No, they should.
They're like elemental. They should be like elemental guns, right?
But it's like,
which I don't know why they never did.
I could have gotten
over
like
rockets.
Yeah,
genius.
I don't get it either. It's so dumb. But I know like they're supposed to be from Sparta in the comics, and they didn't do that in the films, but whatever. But my point is, the mask has been so vital in every film. I feel like every film he's worn it or put it on someone to survive space. And in this film, they pulled the same bullshit they did in number 1, where Peter ends up in space without a mask, and has to be. And at least in number 1, he had the mask to put on. And what annoyed me more was someone pointed this out on Twitter to James Gunn, and he went, "Oh, it's in his drawer back home. He didn't have time to grab it before they left." Fucking bullshit that is, mate. Just destroy the mask in the early scene or something.
Yeah.
That whole space bit was like, oh, Peter's gonna die. Like, oh, Peter's gonna die. Could have just been avoided with the mask.
Or they could have just killed him.
Or they could have just had some balls and killed him. But that's the last negative thing I'm gonna say.
Is fucking kill him.
Yeah, it's the last negative thing.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, good.
Unless you.
But not good. I like your negative rants. No, not really. Groot. I didn't really like Groot's wings. As I mentioned this to you.
You said it was a bit like, okay, cool. Do you know what would have been really helpful there, Mark?
I mean, what?
Boot thrusters.
Oh right, yeah, like anything.
Yeah.
A jetpack. Fucking. Why did he jump out of the window? Like, why was? Is that a scene from Face Off? Because there was a lot of Face Off references.
There was a lot of Face Off references. I don't think in Face Off, the real base film, anyone jumps off and a giant tree grows wings and.
Well, no, but jumping out of window.
Maybe, but I don't know. I guess my answer for it was, it's a bit dumb, but I guess they've done it before. That he knew Groot could fly. Though Groot...
Yeah, I know. I didn't like it, though.
Opening up to reveal all the guns was sick.
I love that. And I liked him going like full kaiju. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, the tongue.
Yeah, but I just think, like... I don't think he'd be able to fly. Like, he's this giant tree. Yeah. How could he fly? I mean, I know he kind of... It was more gliding than anything, but he's still fucking heavy. It was falling with style. Fuck Toy Story.
Fuck you.
No, I didn't like that scene at all. And then, like, I thought, that was my big gripe with that. What else? And I didn't really like the fleshy scenes, where they go to the laboratory.
Yeah.
I think Nathan Fillion, that's a waste of Nathan Fillion.
Not as much of a waste.
It was funny he
number
did the
one.
role perfectly. Yeah, but he doesn't have his face there, so
True.
you know. Now he can't be. Well, he can be, but it's less likely that he'll be used for a proper character now, because people will be like, "Oh, he's that prominent guard in Guardians 3." I know like other people have turned up in multiple Marvel films and shit, but yeah, I didn't like the suits, like the guard suits. I thought they looked like French bread.
Right, so on that, I saw on Instagram that before the film came out, that Nathan Fillion was in it. They posted a picture of him in the suit without the helmet. And you could say, what helmet? Because I thought he was playing an alien that had a headpiece as well. And it was just a behind-the-scene photo. So when I saw this film, and it's not, it's just an outfit, I was like, oh, this is weird. This doesn't look good.
Yeah. I thought the exact same thing. So I saw the photo, and I was like, oh, he's an alien. That's fine. Okay, great. And then, you just see all these people, like, bobbing around this space in this French bread-looking armour. And it's like, well, this is a little bit dumb. Like, the lab is cool. Like, the fact that it's, like, a bio lab and it's actually been made from flesh. I thought that was a really cool idea, but I don't know, there was something about the scenes in that segment of the film where I was like, oh, it's a bit odd. I don't know if it's because it was like more CGI than the rest of them, kind of like Ant-Man had the like full CGI environments and they kind of looked like they did in those scenes, and I was like, okay, it's a bit more jarring, but I still liked it. And obviously did you see the did you notice James Gunn's wife?
Yeah, it's hard to miss.
Yeah.
Did you notice the woman who played Ratcatcher in Suicide Squad?
Yes, she was Ura.
Yeah. And
And
Pete Davidson.
Okay. Huh?
Pete Davidson as well.
Was he in it? When?
I only know it because of Instagram. He's playing one of the alien on the High Evolutionary ship. I think it's when they all point the guns at him. He's one of the aliens. I only know because...
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, and yeah, I don't... I mean, generally, I love the film, so I don't have much more to say that's bad. But the one thing I did love is that Sylvester Stallone came back. And I love Sylvester Stallone just generally. Because Rocky is the best film ever made. Rocky 4. But, yeah, I liked how he came back. Because obviously they had that, like... He was in number 2 a lot, didn't he? And then they had that like throwaway reference of them being like a team at the end in a post-credit scene or whatever it was. And then I like how they kind of brought everyone back in this film. Like even the sales guy in the first one. I can't remember what they called.
Oh
him.
yeah,
the broker.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he was in it. Howard the Duck came back. You know, even though Howard the Duck is a bit dumb, but I like how they kind of while watching the film, you could tell it was like an ending film because everyone was in it, everyone came back, everyone had their little part to play in it. But yeah, really liked it. Really, just so good. Yeah. What do you think about Groot in his new form?
I mean,
that like cool. Final
That's
form in the post credits.
It looks cool.
Like King Groot. Almost,
King Groot. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know I said I'm done talking about negatives. It's not really a negative, but it's just a comment. Like they call for backup and they bring Nowhere, and I audibly sat up, not audibly, like visually sat up. Sorry, when Nowhere appeared out of nowhere. Funny enough, I was like, oh sick, This is cool. This is so cool, taking the whole head to the battle. And then I went, shit, there's a lot of civilians here. This probably wasn't a good idea. What are you doing? You just brought a fucking small town to a battle. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. But I did like the big gun though. The big gun. Yeah. That's great.
It allowed us to get a nice little Yondu cameo, which was cool.
Do you know if it was like previous footage?
No, it was actually new footage.
New footage. Okay, yeah. Because as I saw it, I was like, is this new or old? And I'm glad that it's new because
Which means he's been in every Guardians of the Galaxy thing, which was cool as well. Because I love.
True.
But the film was just so good, man. Like I think the story was really good. The majority of the character arcs were great. And even when I was moaning about their endings, none of them actually pissed me off or upset me or I hated. I'm just like, it's not what I would have done, and I think it could have been better. I think they could have hammered home some of the points just a little bit more. But all in all, I just loved it. I thought the action was fantastic. Every character got their moment. I mean, there's so many great one-liners, you know. I don't know, it's such like a basic one, but when Nebula's like, why didn't you tell me they spoke your language? You spoke their language, and Drax like, you didn't ask. Like, that just got me so much. I feel like that's something I do.
Yeah.
When you're like, you knew this whole time. It's like, yeah, you just didn't ask me, so I didn't tell you.
Yeah, that's definitely a you thing.
Yeah.
It
Adam
made me
Warlock
sad.
being brutal.
Oh, yeah. He just fucking
Dude, fucks
just
people
kills
up.
people.
Yeah.
He just went, oh, Rocket. To be fair, that opening scene, him just turning up, screwing shit up, almost killing Rocket was a good way to start the film. It was just like, bam, action.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about Cosmo?
Oh,
Because I really liked her. I thought...
Good girl.
Yeah, I thought she was... Yeah.
I was so mad every time saying like, oh, you're a bad dog. I was like, no, she fucking is not. How dare you? No dogs are bad.
So take it back.
Yeah. No, Cosmo was great.
Yeah, I think for being a new character... she turned up before in The Collectors.
And she's in the Christmas special.
One of the cages, but... Is she? I can't really remember it.
Oh, you're dumb, that's why. No, shut up.
Might have to watch it again.
You wouldn't know
Christmas time,
fucking
afterwards.
quality film and TV if it hit you around your big head.
Oi.
Oi.
Yes, I would.
Can't believe you didn't like the
Yes,
Christmas
I
special.
would.
No, a minute ago you said
don't know, I
Rocky
was
4
drunk
was
when
the
I
best
watched it.
film ever, so I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm kidding. I was kidding about that. It's the best Rocky film, but no, I was drunk when I watched the fucking holiday special, so I don't know. I can barely remember it. All I know is Kevin Bacon was kidnapped or something.
Yeah, and that was on the newspaper. Quill's granddad was reading, which was cool.
I did see that. Yeah, I did like that. Yeah.
Yeah, good old Kevin.
Right.
Bacon.
Okay. Well, what's next anyway?
For what?
Marvel films.
Shit, what is next Marvel film wise?
I
So just
Googled
TV
it.
shows? No,
So
there
we've
can't
got-
be no films coming. What's...
No, there's got to be one in November or something, isn't there? So we've got Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse, which is not an MCU. We've got apparently Kraven the Hunter, which is again not MCU. Oh, it's the Marvels.
Oh yeah, I'm out.
Out.
Yeah, I'm not out. I'm being a bit. I don't know. I'm uneasy. The trailer didn't sell me.
But Brie Larson.
No, I was joking when I said I'm out, but I'm just a bit unsure of the tone. I think that's the only thing that worries me. I think Brie Larson's Captain Marvel I enjoy. I can't remember much about Miss Marvel because I only watched 3 episodes. But what can you do?
Yeah.
But I'm just a little unsure. But I'm always unsure of a film that has a drastically different tone from what we've seen so far. And it doesn't mean it'll be bad. In some ways, she probably does need a different tone. I think they need to let Brie Larson be Brie Larson. But I've heard some really weird stuff about this film, about it being half a musical. So I'm just really unsure on that film. So we'll see. But then
Yeah, I've heard that too.
after that, to answer your question, is Captain America: New World Order after the Marvels, which is apparently
Is
not
that
called.
this year? That's next year, right?
It's next year. The Marvels is the last film for this year. But apparently Captain America is no longer called New World Order, so we'll see.
Oh, really? What's it called?
Unknown, but I saw a lot of leakers saying it's being renamed.
Oh.
Then we've got Thunderbolts, Blade, but Blade's fucked right now because of the writer's strike.
Strikes.
And then, Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, and both Avengers film. But all these are going to be fucked by the writer's strike, so we'll see.
Yeah. And we've got Secret Invasion in June and Loki later this year as well.
I'm telling you, let the High Evolutionary actor become the new Kang. I think he could do it. I think he could get jacked and do it. Because let's face it, Jonathan Majors.
That would be cool.
Back.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about it recently.
Gone
but
very
he's
quiet.
fucked. Like his last I heard, his like agent,
they dropped him.
publishing company and stuff, as everyone dropped him. So yeah, I think he's screwed. Plus, a couple of the roles that he had secured have dropped him as well. So like he's not gonna have anything coming out for the next year. Not something, things that he hasn't already done. I mean, like he's fucked. So I reckon they'll definitely recast him.
Yeah.
And it would be easy to do so because he's Kang variant or whatever.
Except from the millions of Kangs we saw at the end of Ant-Man. We move along.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So last thing. What's your score? Just remind me what your score.
I think like a 4 out of 5.
Cool. Yeah. 4 out of 5. Mm-hmm. I mean 4.5 out of 5. I think it's a very good film. Best Marvel film in a long time.
Question is, and I'd have to go back and watch the other two, is it the best Guardians film? I think not. I think it's the second best. But I'd have to watch all 3 again.
Okay, what would be your best? The first one?
Yeah, it'd be 1, 3, 2.
Just like Back to the Future?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I really like number 2, Guardians 2, not Back to the Future. I mean, I do like number 2, but Guardians 2 is good for me because I like Kurt Russell. So, Ego is a very cool character for me. But I think you're right. 1, 3, 2, but 2 is good.
And I do love the film. I just want to clarify. I was Mr. Negative here, but I think it's always important that you point out, no matter how much you love something, you always point out its flaws, and that's why me and Mark argue so much. But that's our thoughts.
I knew there was going to be a little comment there.
You always got, you saw the setup, you were waiting for the punchline. You have to.
You got to keep me on my toes, don't you?
That's comedy, baby.
Oh, baby.
That's our thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Some insult about Mark would be nice. I ask for it every week and it still hasn't happened. Maybe I'll just create a fake account and just like leaving insults. Because I don't want to actively want you to be upset or insulted. I know it seems that way sometimes, but I don't. I just want some interaction, I just want to be able to have that kind of power. I tell someone to insult you and they do it.
I think soon enough.
Tell people to insult me and see what happens.
Okay, whoever is...
And that's all we had time for today.
9 people. Insult Jack, insult Jack, insult Jack.
All right. Ciao, bitches.
Yeah, see you later.